Hello, this is Paul from Now Gamer.
And this is Adam.
This is the latest episode of Indecent Exposure, where we try and introduce you to some indie games that you might not have heard of.
Now the first one we've got today is Gods Will Be Watching, which is a survival point-and-click adventure game of sorts. Paul, you've been playing this more, so you've had access to early preview of it. Why not tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, it's not actually quite what I was expecting. Not in a bad way, but I thought it was a puzzle adventure game based on the look of it. And it is basically a point-and-click game, but it's more sort of a turn-based thing where you'll be put in certain situations, and you will have actions that you can make each turn, and you've got to try and survive.
Give us a brief example of one of the examples.
So one of the examples is you've got some guy trying to hack a computer. There's guards that will try and come and stop you, and you've got hostages. You have to manage the hostages to stop them getting sort of too relaxed and then like deciding to run away or getting too scared and making a break for it. Because if you run out of hostages, then the guys that are coming for you are going to attack you. You can use actions to improve your hacking speed, but then the guards are going to get closer, so you have to try and push them back as well. So it's about managing lots of different things that are going on in order to
and these
try and
turns,
survive.
they last seconds, or?
No, it's not so much time-based. It's more that you've got one action you can perform per turn, so you can think about it as long as you like. But it's just you have to make the right decision in that turn, if you see what I mean.
And it's quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard. They make quite a point of making sure you understand that. So yeah, I mean that sort of adds. I think it's there to add a real tension to the scene because you know that you're on the edge and you're sort of scrabbling to survive in every encounter, which I think is what they're going for. But yeah, it looks like quite an interesting game. I mean, it is a story narrative-based game as well as having those gameplay mechanics, and it looks like quite an interesting one. And I'm really looking forward to playing the full version. But it's looking good so far.
It is worth mentioning that this is actually a preview build, and we were told some of the dialogue options and things like that weren't working. So if you are seeing a few issues there, that's just part of the build and should be figured out before release.
So if you are interested in Gods Will Be Watching, it's PC only and it's $6.99 on Steam.
Our next game is The Escapists. This is published by Team 17, and as you might expect, it's about breaking out of prison.
So how exactly does that work? I mean, is it like action based or?
Well, it's sort of like an RPG in a sense. You play a character, you can name him yourself, and it's all about dealing with the day-to-day tasks of prison life. So you have various objectives that you have to do as part of the day. You have to go to various roll calls. There's 3 roll calls in a day, and then you have to have meals, you have to have exercise time, and you have to have a shower time. And you also can get a job within the prison, and you have to, if you do have one of those, you have to do various tasks within those. So you have to kind of tick these things off. If you want to maintain your job, you have a certain amount of quota to reach. But you also, obviously the ultimate objective is to escape prison.
Is there sort of one way of doing it, or is there multiple?
Yeah, there are a bunch of different ways. I don't know all of them, but I know one of the ways that we were shown by Team 17 was breaking out through the vents. So you can, at night, you can smash through the vents. You have to get various different parts to that. You need the right tool cutters, you need the right sheets of metal to make a replacement vent. It's all about getting the parts together and building these extra things. There's crafting involved, so you have to kind of put pieces together. You can use that to make weapons to survive fights a little more. And
is there a finite amount of time you've got to break out? Or?
It doesn't seem to be that case. No, it seems to be indefinite. You're in prison, I guess it's going to be for a long time. But there are different ways you can escape through the rooftop, or you can escape through the yards. You can even dig out as well, and you have to do that. You need to get the various tools and braces to make the tunnel work. But again, it's about kind of making sure you get everything you need to done, but also working to get all the extra parts to put the pieces together and make keys so you can pass through metal detectors and things like that. It's actually really interesting. There's a lot of underlying mechanics to it, and I think it would be a good one for people who like to figure out how a game works and understand its rules and see how quickly they can break out. And it's only in development still. It's going to go into early access, but there's probably going to be more ways of breaking out added. But it's a cool little game. The way you play it, it's very simple to learn, and you can take as long or as quickly as you like. But there's a lot to learn about it. I don't know half as much as what's available about the game, but I'll certainly be playing a lot more. And I recommend people who are interested in something different try this.
Okay, so that's The Escapist. It's not available yet, but should be coming to early access shortly. Right, the last game we've got is Penarium, or Penarium, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah, so this is one you've been playing, so what is it?
Yes, it's a 2D platformer. It's a very, very simple game, but it's also highly addictive. It's about surviving as long as you can against a cruel and vicious circus, if you can believe it or not. The idea is you're captured and the circus is trying to kill you. It's as simple as that. There's various different machines that can attack you. It can be giant bowling balls and dropping your head, or rockets, homing rockets, or flames and things like that. Various different traps, as you'll see in the video. And the objective is very simple. You need to collect the barrels, and within it, the coins. The barrels seems to be the main way to score, but you can get extra points from the coins as well. But it's just an interesting little short little game.
So is it divided into levels, or is it one where you're sort of just playing one level trying to survive as long as possible? Or?
Well, there's 3 levels currently, and it is a high score game, so it's about trying to survive as long as possible. Whether or not they're going to have challenges within that or not, it is still in development, so I don't know if they're going to add much more to it. But the core gameplay there is still really, really fun. Like I said, really addictive. It's always about trying to memorize routes and machines and how to play against them. And
so it's like it's only 3 levels, but it's one of those games where they want you to keep sort of playing, and master it, and
that's the idea. You'll get a good amount of hours, maybe not hours, but you'll get a good amount of time out of playing the game, and you'll come back to it. Like if you say you've got 5 or 10 minutes here and there, you'll pop it on to see if you can beat your next high score. Whether or not they'll add leaderboards or not, I assume they will. They should do. If they add that, then there's obviously going to be a lot more competition between you and your friends, trying to get as long as you can. And to be honest, that's kind of all there is to it. And that's not to criticise it in any way. It's supposed to be a very small, pared down game, but it's good fun, a lot of fun. I think it's going to be fairly cheap when it does launch, and there'll be a lot of enjoyment to get out of it. I personally think it should come to PS Vita. I think it's perfect for that kind of short burst gameplay, but currently it is only in development for PC.